Hi, this is Steve in my workshop in Bellevue. This is lesson assignment 2-5, the Dado and Edge Rabbet Joint on the Shopsmith Mark IV 7.5 Study 520 Self-Study course. And back in assignment 1-4, you made a Edge Rabbet and Groove Joint. This is the Edge Rabbet. And the matching groove is on this board and fit together just like this here. Fit together like that. Very nice tight joint. So on the Dado and Edge Rabbet joint, we just do the same joint, but we're going to do it on the ends, which involves cross-cutting. So here is the Dado, and here is the Edge Rabbet, and that will fit together very nicely, just like that, to do a nice tight joint. So that's what we're going to do here today. But before I get into that, I want to mention a couple things. There's a couple comments on the last video that kind of gave me the impression that some of you may be thinking that the self-study course we're talking about is this one here, which says 10 Shopsmith 10 successful lessons to successful woodworking. This is the original course that was written by Benjamin Spalding back in 1956, which was originally looked like this. Okay, that's not what this course is. Okay, so if you're using these materials, you're using the wrong lesson manual, the wrong book. Okay, so if that's what you're using the wrong one. So let's put these aside and show you the one you should be using. And you should be using this one. It's the Shopsmith Mark IV /7/520 self-study course. It's got a picture on the front of a Mark 7 and a Mark IV. And at the bottom here, it's got a copyright, my name, Stephen Allen Draper. So this is the materials you should be using for these videos accompanying. So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page on this. And this is the written assignment for today's. This happens to be in black and white, but in your manual, it's actually in color. I ran out of color ink, so I printed out a black and white one today, so for me to use. All right, so this particular assignment was written probably 6-8 months ago. All right, so if I make some adjustments or corrections here, please forgive me. But in any case, so to do this, all we're going to do is duplicate each of these cuts. So the setup is really easy. So we're going to start here with doing the Edge Rabbet. We're going to do the rivet. We'll use this for our setup to cut this one. And all I'm going to do is place the board on here, up against the blade. Sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, do this. We want to do this up against the blade, and then we want to do the fence while holding that against the blade. Move the fence over until that board and that fence are just exactly mating. So keep pressure on the board going that way while you do this. Make sure when you set your fence that you hold your hand back here. Don't be doing it up here. You got to hold it back here and push the fence that way while you slide it. Then it'll slide in parallel. So when it's right there, that's perfect. Now we will lock that down. So now we've got our distance from the blade to the fence. Now for our height of the height, it's going to be this height right here, which I've already done previously. It helps if you have another person do it for you. The easiest way to do that is have someone else actually put pressure on your board here, okay? At the same time, you should just release the knob down here, and it'll come and rest the tooth just touching the top of that, and then tighten your table height lock, and you'll have it in a perfect position. So now we've got that set up. Now the last thing we want to do is our miter gauge. We had, in the last assignment, we used this as a sacrificial support. so we wouldn't have any tear out on the back side. So I just need to adjust the position of that. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to take and remove, I'm just going to loosen these 2 screws here. And you can do it one of 2 ways. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to take the screws out completely, because I want to have support on the back side so I don't have any tear out. So you can do it one of 2 ways. You can do it like this if you want, or I think in the lesson assignment I said to take and just flip it like this, and so that's what I'm going to do, because that's what your written instructions say to do. And then we'll go ahead and put these screws in new positions here on the back side. And the nice thing with using pine is it's soft enough that you don't have to tap any holes to put your screws in. These are 1 1/4 inch. These are number, I think they're number 8 by 1 1/4 inch. I like to use the square drive because then when I use it, it stays right there on my screwdriver and it's easy to put in. You do it with a Phillips, you don't have that luxury. Also make sure that your screwdriver is also a number 2 Roberts to match what the size of the hole is in your screw. Okay, so there we got that set up. That's set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this end rabbet right here. See, it's underlined, unrabbit. Okay, and that's going to go through just like that when I put that through. But I'm going to do it on a fresh piece here. So I've got that there. I'm going to go get my safety glasses. And my hearing protection. I'm going to go ahead and go through, do my 7-step safety check. Got my motor lock, quill lock, trunnion lock, motor height lock, carriage lock. Nothing over here. Machine's firmly on the ground, and I'm using the non-through cut riving knife instead of the upper saw guard with riving knife. Put on my hearing protection, and we'll go ahead and cut that through and then clear out for that end dado. So I'm just going to double check here. And yep, that fits right in there. That's good. Okay. All right, the next segment we're going to cut that matching groove. So now we're going to cut the matching groove, actually the matching dado for this. And of course, what we want to have is when it's done, we want this to be exactly flush here on the end, which means that we're going to need to have this edge here exactly flush with the edge of our board here, okay? So I know in the instructions it said to use this as your guide for setting it up, and that's a nice starting point, and that'll probably get you pretty close, but you may not have cut this one here exactly like this one here. So to double check after you do this right here, which is going to get your blade height and your distance from the blade to this side of the wall here, double check with your stock here, because your stock may not be exactly the same thickness as that one, and make sure that when you do this, this is exactly flush with that edge of the teeth. One of the ways I use to make sure that that is the case is I'll just take a straight edge, and let me go take a straight edge, and it should slip past those teeth, okay? Should not be on top of the teeth. Should just double check if you do it with your fingers, make sure that's the case. So now we'll cut the first part of this groove. Actually, part of this dado. That was that left wall of the dado. And here we are here. And we can use this same one. We're just fine, because when we do the next cut, we'll be just moving the stock that way. All right, so we'll go ahead and cut this first pass here. So now I want to set it to do the other wall, which is going to be setting it to be on this side over here, closest to the fence. So I'm going to adjust my fence to do that. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm just going to, I'm going to move this way. And then I'm going to bring my fence over. And that's it right there. Now, that's a good starting point, but I'm not going to leave that there. Okay, because I happen to know that when I did my last time when I did this, that this joint's a little bit loose. It's got some play in there. It's more loose than I would like it to be. So I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to actually take this and move it that way a little bit so that the joint is going to be tighter. And if it's too tight, I can always adjust it. Or if it won't fit, I can always adjust it. So I'm going to move that back this way a little bit. Out there. And we'll try that. So now when I check this with this one here, see, actually, that's interesting. Oh, that is exactly that's correct. That will make the channel narrower. So I can see right there, there's some space. You see there, now there's some space between the blade and that side over there. So that's going to make this groove not as wide. So that's exactly what I want to do. So let's go ahead and cut this, and then we'll clean it out, and then we'll see where we're at. Well, let's see where we're at here. That is just a hair too tight. So I can see right there, I'm going to have to make it just a little bit wider. So we'll just put this on here. Put that against there. That's right there. Take that off. Move that just a hair over. Almost. Just a hair more. There we are. Oh yeah. Perfectly flush at the end. Tight right down there. Nice, strong, firm joint. Okay, there we are. So that is our matching dado. And this completes our lesson on the dado and end rabbet. See you on the next one.